Hey guys, welcome back to Ashar Books. Today is going to be my October book haul. So I know the month isn't quite over yet, but I really don't think I'm going to be buying any more books this month. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do it today. I've been doing pretty good. I've made a goal for myself to try and only buy books that are either like new releases I really want, or things that are like next in a series, or books that are from my used bookstore where I get like trading credit and also cheaper books. So I'm doing pretty good. I've stayed on my budget for this month, and I think it's going to be good for me because I really want to try and read through a lot of the books I own. I'm thinking about doing a video on my TBR soon because I finally put all of my TBR books in one spot so I can actually see what exactly I have, and it's been really helpful. So let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing what books are on my TBR. The first book is a book that's the third in a series, and that is The Book of Life. This is the third book in the Discovery of Witches series trilogy. I bought this one actually at a small used bookstore near me, and I really wanted to buy something from them, you know, support a small bookstore. The only thing was it was so small that they had a very little YA, hardly any romance. So I really wanted to support them, and I did. I did find this book which I wanted to get to complete the trilogy, but I find it hard. Like, I love small bookstores and I want to support them, but it's just difficult when they don't have the stock or the capability to have the stock that you would kind of want that like a bigger store would have. The second book I've already read, and that is Hunting the Deep by Adriana Mather. You guys probably saw me talk about this already in my October wrap-up part 1. I loved it. It was so good. If you haven't read her first book, How to Hang a Witch, go grab it now. It's perfect for Halloween or fall time in general. And this one's really good. It's the second one to that duology, I guess, and it's about the Titanic and like haunting of the Titanic, so really good. The next one that I got is called The Safest Lies by Megan Miranda. I actually picked this one up from Target because I kept seeing it there and it just looked really good. This is like a thriller, like a YA mystery thriller. So this follows a girl named Kelsey whose mom hasn't left the house in years. And suddenly one day her mom is missing and she's been kidnapped. So Kelsey has to go on this like chase to figure out what happened to her mom, like what's going on. Like, also I'm wondering, how does a person get kidnapped who never leaves their house? But I'm sure that's part of the storyline. So I picked this one up to maybe read during Spookathon, but I didn't end up reading it during that, but I'm still really interested. I think it's gonna be a fast read because it's pretty short, so I'm excited to read this one. If anyone's read this one, let me know because it really intrigues me. The next books are ones I got from my used bookstore. The first one is Nobody by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I already mentioned this one too. This was on my Spookathon TBR, but I didn't read it, so I do hope to get to it soon though. This again is a thriller, but I think it has a little bit of supernatural in it. It's about a guy, a boy, it's a YA, who has to go find a girl and kill her. Like, he's kind of like a, what do you call it? He's kind of like a mercenary, and he has to go find this particular girl, and of course when he finds her, they develop feelings and he can't do it, and I think there's more to the story than that. So this intrigues me. I loved the Natural series by her, and this is one of her earlier books, so I'm interested to see if I like this one as well, or you know, how my feelings lie. Next one I got is called All That Glows by Ryan Groden, and I don't know anything about this book, being honest. I saw it at the used bookstore. I know it has to do with fairies and fae. It had like in the Highlands, and that really intrigued me because I mean, I like things that have to do with the Highlands. I like books about fairies, so I don't know much. I know it's YA. I just wanted to pick up a few more things that were kind of like paranormal, magical, because I feel like I'm kind of running low on my TBR. I don't have that many books that are paranormal that I haven't read. So again, if anyone knows anything about this book, let me know down below. The next two books that I got are historical romance. The first one is A Diary of an Accidental Wallflower by Jennifer McQuiston. Every time I go to my used bookstore, I try to pick up a couple of I try to pick up a couple of historical romances because they're super cheap there. I think they're like $2.50 or $3 because they're like half the market price. Anyways, I'd heard great things about Jennifer McQuiston, so I'd been wanting to try something from her, and this one just sounds really funny. It's about a girl who thinks in her heart she's gonna marry this duke, and she has their like life planned out in her head, but something happens at one of the balls, and I think she hurts her ankle or her foot, and it is about her and the doctor who kind of helps her with her foot, and they develop, you know, a relationship. I think is like friends first, but it kind of is just about her figuring out that like sometimes life isn't exactly like you plan, but that might be a good thing. And I don't know, I'm interested to see how I like this. The next one is the Courtesan Duchess by Joanna Shupe. Again, I really don't know much about this one. I think I just read the back of a few of them, and this one sounded really intriguing. I'm always looking for like new historical romance authors that I like, because, you know, you can always use more variety in your romance reading. But this one just sounded cute. I don't know much about it, but sometimes that's good. I just like to jump in and see where it goes. The next one is not historical romance, but it is The Trouble with Mistletoe by Jill Shalvis. So Jill Shalvis is huge, obviously. She's a massive author in the romance genre, and I actually haven't read anything from her before, but I really want to. I know she writes mostly all contemporary romance. This one looks adorable. I've been wanting to pick this up since last December, so I finally found it. I couldn't find it in my used bookstore. I looked like 3 times, so I finally just went to Barnes & Noble and bought it. But this one, I believe, is about a guy who somehow like inherits his aunt's cat, and he doesn't really want this cat, and so he has to take this grumpy old cat into a vet and kind of begrudgingly brings this cat in, and it's about him and I think the girl who's either a vet or works at the vet. It just looks really, really adorable, and I've been wanting to pick up a couple of books that are like Christmassy themed because I like themed reading. And also this one is going to be turned into a movie, I believe, so I'm excited to see that. And the last one I bought is So I Married a Sorcerer by Carolyn Sparks. This is the second book in the like Sorcerer trilogy. I don't know what the series is called, but the first one I read last month, and that was How to Tame a Beast in 7 Days, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. These are great like paranormal fantasy romances. They've got a little bit of everything, so I'm so excited to get to this one. I might read this next because I've been in a bit of a reading slump lately. Like the past week I haven't read anything at all, which is pretty unusual for me, so I'm hoping maybe this will pull me out of it. I don't know much about the plot. I know it follows 2 different characters from the first book, but it's supposed to be in the same world, so I know it'll still be like a fantasy paranormal, so excited to get to this. Okay, those are all the books that I bought for October. Let me know what books you guys bought for October or are really excited to get to down below. I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.